Well, good morning, Beaumont. For those of you watching on Rumble, you can see that I'm dressed in my fancy Hawaiian shirt because I'm going to take a little time off today and go enjoy myself. I'll tell you who else wants to enjoy herself, and that is Karine Jean-Pierre. Remember her? She was a cute little lesbian teddy bear that used to be the liar for Joe Biden. Yeah. Well, she is leaving the Democrat Party. Can you believe it? Yeah. This is not coming from a furious GOP senator or an incensed President Donald Trump, at least not this time. It's coming from one of the party's most reliable defenders during Joe Biden's fake administration. Greene Jean-Pierre, otherwise known as KJP, apparently also is writing a new explosive book, going to be out pretty soon, a look inside a broken White House outside of party lines. As you know, KJP used to get up there and lie to us every day and tell us that Joe Biden was so sharp and so fast that even she couldn't keep up with him. So in 2020, she joined the Biden campaign as a senior advisor coming from the BLTs, and she ended up becoming Kamala Harris's chief of staff, and then just 2 years later, White House press secretary. I think Kamala Harris liked her because, she was a lot smarter than Kamala Harris. She takes us through 3 weeks that led to Biden's abandoning his bid for the second term and the betrayal by the Democrat Party that led to his decision, and that was too much, and that's why she is now also leaving the Democrat Party. Does that mean she's going to become a Republican? I don't know. The last line is one that does pique the interest of us, however, especially in the light of the devastating health revelations that we've seen on Biden. I mean, at best, it was a puppet presidency. Even from the beginning, he was not, what is the official word? Compos mentos. Yeah, I mean, he didn't have his faculties even at the beginning of his administration. By 2 years, certainly didn't have them. And of course, it is my personal belief that he died some time back and was replaced by a double with a rubber mask and a voice-altering chip. But part of the speculation involves just how much Biden had or didn't have in the decision to run for re-election. After initially deciding to run for a second term, he was told to get out on July 21st, 2024. The president claimed he was doing this of his own accord, despite no real signs or appearances that would lead us to believe that. This had a lot of people assuming that the Democrat hierarchy had effectively stepped in and just told him, get the hell out of here. An assumption that Jean-Pierre's book could lend some credence to. The former White House press secretary was so appalled at this alleged treatment of Biden from the Democrat elites that she's not only dishing the party, but she's urging other people to consider doing so as well. Got to remember, the recent polls show the approval rating for the Democrat Party somewhere around 27%. And only 13% of the Democrat faithful believe that they have a strong leader in the party. I mean, let's face it, AOC right now is considered to be the smartest and most contender-like person in the entire Democrat Party. So what do you say about that? I happen to think AOC is perhaps the best that the Democrats have to offer. But then on the other hand, what am I comparing her to? I'm comparing her to maybe AOC or Jasmine Full of Crockett. What else do you have over there? Maxine Waters, who may be going to jail for some of her shenanigans. So that's all they got to offer. And James Carville's not very happy about it either. They just fired David Hogg. Anyway, she was so appalled that she's leaving the party and urging others to do so as well. In an urgent, timely analysis, Independent urges all Americans to vote their values and to maintain individuality within party lines, according to the book. It also adds, in a hard-hitting yet hopeful critique, KJP defines what it means to be part of the growing percentage of our fractured electorate, that is, independent, and why it can be worthwhile to carve out a political space more loyal to your personal beliefs than a party affiliation. And what questions do you need to ask yourself to determine where you fit politically? The book's supposed to come out October 21st. Well, we'll see what it is. Look, I got to be honest with you. I like girls, and I always thought she was very cute, and she and I have something in common. We both like girls. Meanwhile, in the CEO wouldn't want to be you category, Donald Trump once again wins. They were handed a critical win from a federal judge this week, and surprisingly, it came from a judge that was actually put on the bench by the former President Joe Biden, non compos mentis. This is very cool. Judge Amir Ali dismissed a lawsuit from the Democrat National Committee that was targeting a number of Donald Trump's many executive orders. Specifically, the DNC lawsuit claimed that some of Trump's executive orders would erode the Federal Election Commission's independence. Remember that the Federal Election Commission, like so many other things, is completely corrupt and dedicated to destroying the United States. They really don't care that there were 33 million votes cast by people that don't exist. One of the key orders in question involved a February 18th executive order entitled Ensuring Accountability for All Agencies. The Constitution vests all executive power in the president and charges him with faithfully executing the laws. Trump stated since it would be impossible for the president to single-handedly perform all executive business of the federal government, the Constitution provides for subordinate officers to assist the president in his executive duties. In the exercise of their often considerable authority, these executive branch officials remain subject to the president's ongoing supervision and control. However, previous administrations have allowed so-called independent regulatory agencies to operate with minimal presidential supervision, indeed, in some cases, no presidential supervision. Trump continued, these regulatory agencies currently exercise substantial executive authority without sufficient accountability, and that through the president to the American people. These regulatory agencies have been permitted to promulgate significant regulations without review by the president. Indeed, I'm telling you that these regulatory agencies have been ruling America for a long time and against federal law. They've been making stuff up. So this is a big deal. In the executive order, in a bid to ensure greater accountability and transparency, ordered that it shall be the policy of the executive branch to ensure presidential supervision and control of the entire executive branch. Moreover, all executive departments and agencies, including so-called independent agencies, shall submit for review all proposed and final significant regulatory actions to the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs within the Executive Office of the President before they are published to the National Register. This mandate really rankled the DNC because they've been making stuff up for years, so they filed the lawsuit just 10 days after the order was signed. Much to their chagrin, the DNC failed to prove that there was a threat of concrete and imminent injury. Or as Politico summarized it, District Judge Amir Ali said the Democrat Party group's case was simply too speculative, no substance. The outlet also pointed out a fascinating wrinkle in this lawsuit case being smacked down. Judge Ali is no favorite of the Trump administration, as he was the one whose ruling effectively tied the hands of DOJ for a while when it came to laying off USAID employees. The possibility that the president and the attorney general would take the extraordinary step of issuing a directive to the Federal Election Commission or its officers purporting to bind their interpretation is sufficiently concrete and imminent to create Article 3 injury. That is what Ali ruled. Perhaps unsurprising, given his prior ruling on USAID, Ali did note that this court's doors are open for the DNC to refile a lawsuit should it find any evidence needed to resuscitate this now dying lawsuit. Trump has not publicly commented on Ali's ruling as of yesterday, but here's the thing. If you bet against Donald Trump, you're probably going to lose. So you might want to rethink your actions.
You know, we need people to remember us and think good things about us every day. We need to give gifts to friends, loved ones, and customers, and that's why you need to go see my friends Brian and Christina at crazynestcreations.com. There you will find amazing custom t-shirts, coffee mugs, and incidentals that are going to make their day. You can find a t-shirt for your honey from the great Stylized Owl collection, or something for your friend or client or customer to cement your relationship for years to come. Don't forget, you have to get reelected to be grandma, grandpa, aunt, or uncle of the year, and that requires gifts. So CrazinessCreations.com gives you an inexpensive way to engender warm and loving feelings for a lifetime. CrazinessCreations.com. 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 Go there today. Get those goodies for your friends, loved ones, and clients. You won't regret it, and they're going to remember you.
Most of you know, as I do, that Katie Hobbs, the governor of Arizona, is a traitor to this country. She did indeed steal the election, and then the Democrats threw in all of the stops to make sure that no one could overturn that election. Well, on Monday, she vetoed Senate Bill 1109, which would have prohibited the government of Communist China from purchasing land in her state. I think somebody should perhaps check out her bank accounts and see if she's getting some checks from China. I mean, Joe Biden did. Anyway, improvements to the system to protect our infrastructure are important, she said. So apparently she needs Chinese money to get in there and improve their infrastructure. Indeed, Senate Bill 1109 grew out of concerns over potential Chinese spying near military installations, because isn't it odd that the Chinese only buy up foreign land when it's next to a military installation? Nothing to see here, folks. In a word, this is rubbish. Let the state legislature deal with any potential implementation and enforcement programs as they arise. In the meantime, no foreign government, let alone a hostile one, should own any American land. The Chinese government is our enemy, whether you like it or not, and they were trying to lease buildings near Luke Air Force Base so they could spy on our Air Force Base. Senate Bill 1109 would have prevented them from having a stake of 30% or more in any Arizona property. Of course, the state legislature could override Hobbs' veto, and it's possible. After all, Arizona House of Representatives voted 41-17 for the bill on May 7th. In that case, 8 Democrats also joined the Republicans in supporting that bill. The Arizona Senate, however, poses more of a challenge. So we'll have to see what happens there, but I don't trust Katie Hobbs at all. I think she should be in prison.
You have a choice, and you chose Freedom 1300.